said to be the first animal ever to have been domesticated, since man led a hunter-gatherer life some 1500 years ago, even before the development of agriculture. It is often regarded in some cultures as the best friend man can have. Hello and welcome to Green 360, the world of agriculture on iBrandTV, Lagos. I'm Michael Knapp, your host on the show. Now, before we go ahead, let's take a short break. You're watching Green 360, the world of agriculture on iBrandTV. Going forward, let's take this notable quote. Dean Koontz is an American novelist whose novels usually incorporate elements of horror, fantasy, and science. Dog, as we know it today, is a domesticated descendant of the extinct wolf, while the modern grey wolf is said to be the dog's nearest living relative. There's a wide variety of dog breeds, popular among which are Alsatian Bulldog, Terrier, Pit Bull, and Rottweiler, among others. While it is not common like cattle rearing, piggery, or poultry, dog breeding is big business in many parts of the world, and Nigeria is no exception. Now, dog breeding is the practice of mating selected dogs with the intention of maintaining or producing specific qualities and characteristics. Of all domestic animals, dog is one that can particularly maintain one-on-one relationship with man, like a playmate, comforter, guide, and security aid, all rolled into one. Now, meanwhile, dog is a delicacy in certain parts of the world. Historically, human consumption of dog meat has been recorded in many parts of the world, such as Switzerland, China, Korea, Vietnam, and Nigeria, to mention just a few. However, some cultures, even in the aforementioned countries, consider eating dog meat as a taboo. Nevertheless, it is estimated that about 25 million dogs are eaten by man every year.
To people who keep dogs, life without a dog is perhaps not complete. As Roger Karras, an American wildlife photographer, writer, wildlife preservationist, and television personality put it, dogs are not our whole lives, but they make our lives whole. Dog keeping is passion-driven, universal, and irrespective of status, so you can find dogs in households across the social ladder, including the White House. In fact, up until his presidency in 2016, Donald Trump was the only American president who did not keep a dog in the White House in 100 years. The household dog is a domesticated descendant of an ancient extinct wolf, and the modern grey wolf is the dog's nearest living relative today. Of all animals, however, the dog was the first species to be domesticated by man, still in his hunter-gatherer age over 15,000 years ago, even before the development of agriculture. To sustain dog keeping is dog breeding, that is, the business and practice of mating selected dogs with the intention of maintaining or producing specific qualities and characteristics in terms of traits and vital status. Meanwhile, the person who purposefully mates dogs to produce puppies is a dog breeder. As a result of breeding, there are many dog breeds today, including German Shepherd, Bulldog, Doberman, Pit Bull, Terrier, Poodle, Pug, Golden Retriever, Labrador Retriever, and French Bulldog, to mention but a few. Dogs are the most variable mammal on Earth, with artificial selection producing hundreds of globally recognized dog breeds. However, the Global Federation of several national kennel clubs based in Belgium, the Fédération Cynologique Internationale, FCI, recognizes about 400 dog breeds worldwide. Dog breeding is big business around the world, and Nigeria is no exception. Meanwhile, dog lovers are very enthusiastic about a particular breed of dog. Hence, dog breeding business let dog lovers who like a specific breed pick out a puppy of that breed. Of all domestic animals, dog is one that can maintain one-on-one relationship with man like a playmate, comforter, guide, and security aid all rolled into one. On the flip side, however, despite being a loyal friend, come rain or shine, dog is a delicacy in certain parts of the world. Historically, human consumption of dog meat has been recorded since ages in many parts of the world such as Switzerland, China, Korea, Vietnam, and Nigeria, among others. However, some cultures, even in the aforementioned countries, consider eating dog meat as a taboo. Nevertheless, it is estimated that about 25 million dogs are eaten by man worldwide every year.
On this episode of Green 360, we shall be discussing the practice and business of dog breeding. And I have with me here in the studio an ardent lover of dogs and experienced dog breeder by name Victor Bello. Hello, Victor.
Hello,
welcome to Green 360.
Thank you very much.
There are so many pets. Why dog?
Why dog? Like you rightly said in your intro, dog is man's best friend. The most loyal friend a man can have. Why dogs for me? Because of certain qualities, like you stated earlier. I feel dogs are the loving nature of dogs towards man, their loyalty. They can put their lives on the line for you, the owner. They protect you, they guard you from outside, from attacks, from enemies, from robbery attacks and all sorts. Yes, so basically their loyalty to man, their strong desire to protect their owners made me as I fall in love with them.
Now, you, besides being a lover of dogs,
yeah,
you're also a dog breeder.
Yes, I am.
What does it take actually to be a dog breeder, and what has your experience been like so far?
To become a dog breeder, first and foremost, you need to be a dog lover.
Okay.
The business of dog breeding, personally, I won't call it the business of dog breeding. Because if you're looking at the business side of it, definitely you are looking at the profit side of it. And that may spur you to start cutting corners. Dog breeding is quite expensive and quite calculative too.
Interesting.
Very, very. Now, for me as a person, I love giant breeds. My breed are Caucasians. Very big, very giant. So now feeding these dogs are quite expensive. Buying their food, quite expensive. Now, for you to go into dog breeding, you need to have this love for these dogs first and foremost, and the capacity to be able to cater for them, provide for them, their feeding, their medication, bathing, create time for them, play with them, always be there for them. Then before you can then decide to go into dog breeding, you need to understand the standard. There's what we call breed standard. Every dog, every breed has its own breed standard. Now, for you to go into breeding, you need to understand these standards for this particular breed you are interested in. This will guide you in your breeding program. Now, some people breed for the phenotypes of the dog, the outward looks. Some breed for the attributes, like maybe how aggressive, in quotes here, the dog can be, how agile the dog can be. Now, in the art of dog breeding, there is something you need to understand. You need to understand the lineage of a dog, or in fact, of both intending parents, both the sire and the dam. The sire is the male dog, while the dam is the female dog. Now, you need to understand their pedigree lineage. So that will give you an insight to what you are breeding, what the outcome of your puppy should be. Now, some people are out there, like I said earlier, if you don't understand this and you don't have the love for dogs and the capacity, definitely you cut corners. At the end of the day, you'll be churning out puppies that are not of the standard set for that breed. So dog breeding is calculative, it's expensive, and quite time consuming.
Interesting. We have so much to talk about. I am particularly interested in this.
Okay.
And I want to believe that the viewer out there might also be thinking about getting a puppy for him or herself. And that's the reason we're going to talk some more on this very topic when we come back. We're going to take a breather here. When we come back, we continue from where we start. You're still watching Green 360 here on iBrandTV, Lagos. We are talking domesticated dogs. I have with me here an ardent lover of dogs and experienced dog breeder in the person of Victor Bello. Victor, back to you now. Yeah, we've talked about the breeding.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about the different kinds of dogs, the commonest ones available in Nigeria.
Okay, we have both the large breeds and the small breeds. For the large breeds, we have the Caucasians, we have Boer Bulls, we have Rottweilers, we have German Shepherds, which is also called the Alsatian. We have Huskies. We are beginning to have Huskies in Nigeria. We have Pit Bulls, we have all kinds of breeds. We have, for the small breeds, we have Lhasa Apso, we have Eskimos, we have Samoyeds, we have Terriers, we have Poms. They are called Pom-Poms. Pomeranian breeds, very smallish toy dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those white ones?
Yeah.
Or some of them have other colors because...
Yeah, they have different colors.
Okay.
They have different colors.
Okay.
Variety of colors. Yeah.
In fact, the way you're going, if we go on naming them,
a whole lot of them. Yes.
I
a whole lot of them.
much.
Even those that are not too popular in Nigeria.
Okay.
They're also in Nigeria.
Now, what guides your choice? What determines which one to go for, and how does one know which to go for?
That's a very, very vital aspect of dog owning and breeding. Now, every dog is designed for a specific purpose.
Beautiful.
Like the Alsatian dogs, the GSD, and the Malinois. Those are basically made for security.
What do you call them again?
Malinois and German Shepherd dogs or Alsatian.
Okay.
Those are the dogs you see police overseas make use of. Those dogs are very sensitive, very smart, very fast, very agile. So that's so you just need to understand what you want. Like for my breed, the Caucasian, what I put into consideration was at some point I knew I was going to have a family, and these dogs would be with my family. So I needed I love giant breeds. Giant breeds, I love them. So I needed a giant breed with a level-headed temperament. The Caucasians are very, very stubborn, very, very independent, right? But very, very good with children and the family around them. So that was what made me go for them. I looked at dogs that I could breed only in my house, that could be friendly with my children and not harm my children. So for you to own a dog, you need to understand what purpose you want this dog to serve for you. Some dogs are dogs we use in herding cattle, sheep, and all of that, like Labrador.
But that doesn't happen in Nigeria. I've never seen.
It doesn't happen.
Like you, of course, you see
exactly.
there.
With their sticks and everything.
And
Those are the purposes they were made for. Like the Caucasian is generally a guard dog.
But that can that be replicated in Nigeria? Like having the German Shepherd, for instance, help you guide your cattle and stuff?
A German Shepherd may not necessarily guard your cattle and stuff because it is not a guard dog, it's a security dog. But the Caucasian can do that.
German Shepherd? What does a shepherd do?
That's the name. The Shepherd, yeah, it should be, but it's not as good as other dogs meant for that purpose.
There are other dogs that are meant for
guarding cattle, yes, protecting livestock and all of that.
And what is it now? Sheep.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Just like the Caucasian, that was basically what it was meant for initially. But we just bring them down here, but we don't have this. So we just turn them to security dogs and.
You've been talking about Caucasian, human-friendly, and playful, and all that. Is that the reason you have it? Just to play with kids, play with members?
No. Security reasons.
Because you never mentioned this, for instance.
No, the most important factor then was for security reasons, right? But while looking for a dog for security purposes, you need to also factor these situations around you too. You have a family. You don't want a dog like Rottweiler. There's this belief that Rottweilers, they have these 5 minutes of losing memory or loss of memory and all that. Then they tend to attack even their owners.
Wow.
That is a myth. That is a belief. But I'm not really certain. So I'm just giving you insights. Why when getting a dog, you need to look at different aspects, different attributes of this dog.
But you just can't wake up one morning and get to know about all these things. How does one go?
You make your research. You do your research.
Okay.
Like I told you earlier, before I settled for a Caucasian, I did my research. Online, everywhere, ask dog owners, dog breeders also, watched videos on YouTube, listened to experienced breeders overseas through the YouTube and all that. So you do your research before you decide on which suits the reason for getting them.
Okay. Now, which dog is the most expensive and the cheapest, and why?
The most expensive dog. There's this breed called trying to recall. It's like Caucasian. Trying to remember the name now.
Is it in Nigeria?
Very few.
Okay.
Very expensive. As expensive as up to 5 million. A puppy I got to know a puppy.
No. I didn't get that. Yes.
I'm trying to recall this name.
Did you say up to 5 million?
Yes.
A dog?
Yes. And that's for a puppy. The record price for that Tibetan Mastiff, that's the name I've been thinking of. Tibetan Mastiff. I think the most expensive I've heard of that breed is $10 million.
Not even Naira. Hello.
Not even Naira. $10 million. So we have very few of them in Nigeria, but they're quite expensive. A puppy could go maybe as low as 600,000 in Nigeria. Yeah. For that Tibetan Mastiff and more than that.
Excuse me. What makes them that expensive? I mean, is there anything else there that we do not know about?
What do I tell you on this now? It's an art, like I told you. I don't really know much about Tibetan Mastiff, but I know
there must be something special about it.
Exactly.
10 million dollars.
Yes.
We're not talking about a Naira here.
Yes.
And people buy it.
Do your research. Do your checks. Go to the airport. Tons of dogs coming to Nigeria. Very expensive. A Caucasian, you can't get a Caucasian import. Okay, like recently my friend imported the Boerboel for 2.5 million euro. And he has done this too. Recently that he brought in. So I know of dogs. I know of a Boerboel that was brought into Nigeria for 6 million euro. They are quite expensive.
Wait a minute. They don't die like...
They die. But if you give them proper care and nurture, they live long. Quality dog breeding is expensive. If you don't want to cut corners, it is quite expensive.
How lucrative is the business?
Now, earlier when we started, I told you I don't want to say call it a business because there's every possibility you make losses. There are diseases out there that affect dogs, like what we call parvovirus. If it affects, okay, for example, you have a litter. We call them a litter, puppies, set of puppies. Anyone gets infected by parvo can be transmitted to the other puppies. And that disease is very deadly. The chance of survival is 50-50. Now, if any of these puppies should contract parvo and treatment fails, you could lose all of the puppies.
Victor,
Sir.
as a dog breeder and a lover of dogs, what would be your advice to someone who wants to go out there and get a puppy? And how does the person groom it, from the puppy stage to an adulthood stage? Very briefly, please.
Yeah, my advice would be make your research first.
Okay.
First of all, what purpose are you getting this puppy for? Right? Once you've answered that question, make your research to further give you an insight to what that breed of a puppy you're looking for entails. Then next, you create a conducive atmosphere, environment. Provide the kennel. Some people call it cage. But
it's kennel.
Kennel. Provide a conducive kennel for it. Make sure you're comfortable enough to provide for it financially. Because their medication, at every stage of their life, at some stages of their life, you give them some medications, vaccinations, even against anti-rabies.
That's basic.
Basic. Those are basics. Those are basics. Then you also create an atmosphere, time for this puppy, because they need. Now, puppyhood is the stage you develop a dog. Whatever it imbibes from its puppyhood stage is what it will grow up with.
That's the formative stage.
Yes.
So you can't go to the market now and buy an adult dog if you want to breed it. If you want to have it, train it and have it at home. It's risky, right? It's
risky. It's doable, but it's risky because it's already an adult. It doesn't know you. You're not the person that brought it up. But of course, over a period of time, it will get used to you. I still have a friend who got an adult recently and is still scared. Somehow, the adult is still aggressive. But the adult knows, the dog knows him, but there's that aggressiveness still in him towards the owner. So these are the factors you need to. Getting adult dog is doable, but the risks are also there. Since you're not the person that brought it up from.
So it's getting it from the puppy stage. That's the way to go.
That's the best.
And you would encourage people to go for dogs as pets.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
Even where you have so many children. A home where you have many children, because there have been instances of dogs, turning around to bite.
Yes.
And even up to the point of death.
Yes. Like I said earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me point this out. It is not advisable to own dogs or breed dogs in an environment where there are blocks of flats. That is not your own personal residential or just you alone living. But if you have other neighbors, it could be risky. The dog may turn out to like you said, bite one of the neighbors or anything. Such have happened. So it's generally not advised. So when getting a dog, it would be nice you have your own home or you are just alone in that compound.
Your own home, not as a tenant, but as a landlord.
As a landlord or as a tenant in just a one-off building, apartment, no other neighbors, just you in that compound. Yeah, it's very, very advisable.
Thank you very much, Victor Bello.
My pleasure, sir.
I look forward to owning a dog.
Okay.
But I don't think breeding. I won't go there yet. So where do you belong? Do you belong to owning a dog or breeding it? Whichever way, know the reason or the purpose for which you want a dog. And that's the first and most important thing. And of course, you must have a fat pocket. So you don't just jump into it, okay? Victor, thank you so very much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I hope you enjoyed it. Now you know better. Until we come your way again on this show, Green 360, here on iBrandTV Lagos. This is Michael now. Bye-bye.